Hey everybody, Cat King here. Welcome back. If you have been following along so far, thank you. Really appreciate it. Take a moment to like, share, subscribe. I really am so heartened by the feedback that I've received from many of you out there. I really appreciate you taking the time to reach out to me and either say a kind word or offer constructive feedback about how to, I guess, make things, I don't know, I guess just better in some way. But I wanted to get back to what we're working on right now. So I'm just showing you the build for the web experience, the Glass Stars Homecoming Welcome to Subterra project. So I'm working on a lot of different things right now. The Glass Stars Live event that's coming up January 11th, 2026 is going to have three main components to it. It's going to have an AR walkthrough experience, which essentially is a scavenger hunt that is set in the Glass Stars universe, and essentially is this web experience that you're watching me build right now. If I only would put it on share again. Haha. Actually, let me fix that real quick. I need to share, but I want to share with me here. Okay, Bajoom. So yeah, I just want, okay, everybody can see me. You can see me? Okay, good. So yeah, the first is the AR walkthrough scavenger hunt. Basically, it's this web experience, but in augmented reality in person inside of a theater in Seattle. And so, yeah, you're going to get a chance to become the story, and then that will be tickets for that are available now. You can get tickets just for Shard Quest, but if you're going to do that, then like why not actually stay and watch the actual table reading portion of the night, right? So yeah, for 35 bucks you get your general admission ticket, your seat in the Center Theater at the Armory in Seattle, and you get that. And then you also can get access to Shard Quest. You just won't have that first look access. The VIP tickets are 65 and they include Shard Quest first look preview access. Basically, you'd be the first group to check out Shard Quest once we open it up to everybody on the day of the event. That's January 11th. And that would be starting around 5:15 or so in the evening. And then the actual show, the main show event, starts at around 6 p.m. I'm really going to start the event on time at 6 p.m. so that we can get things rocking and rolling on time because the pilot script sits at 60 pages. Actually, it was at 62 pages. And in the world of entertainment, film, and screenwriting, one page equals about 1 minute of screen time. We are doing a live table reading, which will be stopped along the way here and there so that I can provide notes and context and lore and backstory. And of course, the actors and I can sort of work together. This is meant to show the audience my directing, I don't know, style, my communication style, even though I have, you know, in spite of my treatment-resistant schizophrenia, I still am capable of doing things. And so this whole night is to sort of show what I am capable of doing as an individual, but also bringing folks together from my community, from both the mental health care world, the augmented reality and extended reality, mixed reality, augmented reality, but also virtual reality world. So that VR, AR, XR, MR space. And then also, of course, filmmaking and entertainment and science fiction. And then, of course, the LGBTQIA community in particular. So I've invited people from all over. So far, we have 600 people confirmed that they want to attend. So tickets for that are on sale now. We believe that this event, I mean, we only have a certain number of physical seats we can offer, right? There's only so many actual seats in the theater. So with 600 people interested in saying they're coming, you're not gonna make it if you can't get your ticket now because honestly it's gonna sell out. We're talking about we only have 295 slots. That's 200 seats in the theater, 40 of which are blocked off for VIPs. And then the rest are, yeah, that's 135-ish seats, 130-ish seats available. So there are 600 people saying, yeah, I'm going. So, but you got to book the tickets on Eventbrite. So that's kind of what this is for as well is to share with you some reminders some friendly reminders about Hot Shop, Glass Stars, Homecoming Web Experience, Build Part 1. All right, sorry, I gotta save these files as I go. With ADHD, it's like I have to save things and name them and follow my naming system and everything like that. Not in remembering my naming system and what it is and not diverging away from it can be a challenge for me with my ADHD. But that's kind of like the whole idea behind the Glass Star series. This is a transmedia property. Again, like I said, it started as a short story, evolved into a full-length novella or novel, and then it has become an multi-award winning pilot script. And now we're talking, three whole books, a whole trilogy. So it's time to bring it to the screen. I wanted it to be an augmented reality based type of immersive series. I wanted folks to feel like they were part of the story. So that's kind of where we start here. So this is the latest iteration. I'm on version 17 now while we were waiting for the first part to save. You can see there's going to be some motifs, logos, emblems, symbols, are very important. And so yeah, we start with the chapel. You're visiting this sanctuary, and Pastor Neil or Reverend Neil Chandler is there, and you can see a little bit of lore about him. I'm going to, I want to pause real quick because I'm going to share with me up in the corner instead. Perfect. I want to share sound. I want to optimize for video sharing, and we're back. Okay. All right, so here we are. I just wanted to show you kind of a little bit of a walkthrough where we are so far. With Canva Code, this whole new Visual Suite 2.0 platform is great on desktop, but for mobile, I don't love it. And then even on the desktop, I don't know if it's my computer or what, but I've been having issues with just rendering stuff that actually works. So I don't know if that's just a growing pain aspect of working with Canva Code and trying to build a whole immersive, like interactive, it's like a gamified website. And what I'm doing is I'm touring you through the story of Glass Stars, sort of consolidating, condensing the story, its beginning, its middle, and end, pretty much, into a game that is also doubling as like a tour of the actual spiral. And I would love to be able to include like the actual set designs and the blueprints for all of that at some point. So we'll have like a whole tour of the set once we have the blueprints complete. So you'll be able to kind of get a whole world picture of the subterranean complex that is the spiral, or AKA Subterra. You can see here, I kind of started off with building a single page responsive web experience. And I try to keep it simple, but of course, knowing me, I had to add and because I was building a world, right? So I really needed detail and I really needed to think these things through, and everything needs to have a functional purpose. I don't like sci-fi, especially world building and sci-fi that features technology, gadgets, and things like that. They don't really serve a purpose. Everything here is comes from sort of a transhumanist need. All of the transhumanist, the reason why the transhumanists won the Civil War is because they used technology in order to essentially to stop the war. And they were willing to give up that power. And so that is what won people over to them and allowed for this culture within the spiral to sort of proliferate. And now we have a metaverse, this Earth 2 metaverse that has sort of developed a mutation. And the mutation is psyche, which is a post-human, non-corporeal state, sort of a dream state, similar to the Nexus. I guess this was going to make a comparison to any other established science fiction IP. In Star Trek, they have the Nexus, where time and space has no meaning and you can go anywhere that you want, but it's not really real. Well, this actually is beyond that. It's not an illusion. You really are actually in a transcendent, sort of euphoric state where time and space have really no meaning, and you can actually remotely view other parts of the universe and space time and everything like that. Just you can actually essentially travel in an interstellar way as a light form, essentially. You're not fully light, but you're not fully matter either. You're in a quantum state of flux. And this is sort of a naturally occurring phenomenon that many people within Subterra believe is heaven or believe is the afterlife, or believe is the next stage of human evolution, is a post-human non-corporeal existence. And so it's a hugely controversial thing that I'm proposing, which is that there is maybe no correct answer, no ultimate answer to any of this necessarily, but that there are people who will believe in what they believe so full-heartedly that they'd be willing to do anything to either protect it or to destroy it. And so who is right and who is wrong? And so we begin with Neil. He begins in the sanctuary or Neil's sanctuary. And you can kind of see the story unfold here, but you can see it kind of, I'm programming, I'm filling it in with the story and with the prompts. I'm using this in tandem with ChatGPT to help me build. Remember that I've already published these stories, but I'm using this to, create something that is um, comprehensive. It doesn't attack any of these groups. It calls each of these groups out. In fact, what I'm calling out is tribalism, is a sense of us versus them. And in the end, if you read the trilogy of novels, you'll find that what I'm saying is that we are all part of something that is actually deeply inherently was meant to be something, but is inherently defective or broken, and that we are on a collision course with Andromeda, which will change the course of human evolution permanently, irrevocably. And so yeah, that's kind of a big spoiler alert. But yeah, the books are out now on Amazon in paperback. You can also find them on Gumroad in ebook form if you don't want to support Amazon anymore. Completely understand that. What I'm trying to do is actually move my physical books off of Amazon and get them onto Gumroad, but I need to order them at that author copies rate, which is pretty cheap. And then I'll kind of stock up on them. And then they're going to go up on Gumroad as a separate product. So you'll be able to buy paperbacks, not just ebooks on Gumroad in the near future. But you can see while we're waiting, we're kind of seeing what Canva Code makes of this, all this input that I'm providing. I really want to get this right. I want it to be fully functional. I want all the features to work. So I'm not going to launch this until I feel like it's at least semi-functional, at least functional enough for people to get through the entire like story of the tour. Yeah, it does do several things. It's a tour, but it's a gamified tour. It's an interactive, lore unlocking experience. And then it'll give you an idea of what you're going to be walking into. If you buy a ticket for Glass Stars Live and come to Seattle on January 11th, you'll be able to actually hear the actors. We have a cast that's most of them are committed. We have a few people who aren't contracted fully yet, but they are interested and they're just waiting that official green light. So right now we really are depending on folks like you to support us. If you don't want to come to Seattle or just can't make it, that's totally fine. That's why we have 100 spots in the live stream for the event. So we would like to be able to increase the number of people we can allow on the live stream for the Glass Stars Live table reading event, but that'll be up to folks to buy the tickets to show us that there's a demand enough because 600 yeses on LinkedIn events doesn't translate directly to ticket sales. So we really need folks who are saying, "Hey, I want to go," to book now so we know actually who whether or not we're sold out. Because if we sell out, then we'll open up the live stream and that would justify the added expense of, that upgrade webinar on Zoom. So basically we would convert our Zoom meeting into like a full webinar thing and that would allow us to include up to 1,000 people if we wanted to. So all those people we could really fit on this event if a few people are willing to step up and like buy those first tickets, those first that first set of tickets. If we can get sold out, then we can make sure that more people who aren't able to attend physically can still experience the Glass Stars story. They can hear my story about my battle with treatment-resistant schizophrenia. They can also get a sense of what augmented reality can do in terms of build empathy, uh, initiate truly earnest discourse about schizophrenia representation, as well as LGBTQIA representation, as well as BIPOC representation in science fiction, but across the board in entertainment. We're going to have that table reading, and then that third segment is the third official segment of the event is that Q&A panel discussion I'm talking about now, which is, portraying schizophrenia accurately, fairly, respectfully, but also really discussing AI, all of it. We're just going to discuss the entire thing and open the floor up to the audience for discussion. And then, yeah, we'll wrap it up. And then we'll have some photo ops if people want to come take selfies with the cast and crew. They want to just, check it out again and want to do another run through a shard quest. That's another opportunity to kind of do round two shard quest. And then there's an after party. So all of our VIPs, all of our collaborators, anybody who participated in helping make the event happen, will be invited over back to H Bar at Hyatt House to uh, check out the Preceptor reality support app I'm developing for people with schizophrenia. So I'm doing kind of on a threefold mission. I'm trying to build empathy by bringing attention and awareness to the plight of people like me with treatment-resistant schizophrenia, especially military veterans with TRS, but also, the plight of the LGBTQIA community within sci-fi. I'm also addressing head on, the need for an ethical framework in the technology itself. So my creation of Preceptor, Percept AR, as a reality support tool is also serving the needs of myself and others like me directly. And it's meant to be a democratized tool that anybody can use for free. So there's a need for funding for that. So I have like this kind of twofold, threefold mission here, which is to spread awareness through my own narrative vehicles or story engines like Glass Stars, but also through my literature, like the fiction and stories outside of Glass Stars that are standalone novels, like The Stars Began to Speak, which is this one, which is actually more horror, psychological horror, but it's body horror too, and that is a non-Glass Stars story, but it features a protagonist who suffers from treatment-resistant schizophrenia. So all of my horror, sci-fi, speculative fiction novels and stories, pretty much all of them feature somebody with schizophrenia and are inspired by my real lived experience with the disorder. I have I happen to have copies, hard copies of Glass Stars and Rebirth. Extra P is out now. It's on paperback, but I just don't have a copy of it with me right now. So here is Glass Stars, here are the books. You want to read them in order. If you're going to buy the books, I definitely recommend reading them in order. I'll show you the first one again. You're going to see better. Actually, all right, it's done. So let me go back to this real quick while we have it up. I'm sharing still. So I want the user to be able to make choices, even though this is sort of a story. It's an interactive story. It's a portal. It's an entry point into the universe of Glass Stars. So let's go ahead and see. Oh, I like this. Okay, so I like this. So you kind of start here. I really like this a lot. Let's go ahead and choose Neil's Chapel. Okay, it's not working. Okay. The buttons are non-responsive. Okay, so you can see like obviously it's kind of like a game of like tug of war. It's a little bit like a sculpting, very much so like sculpting. I'll go ahead and stop sharing for now while it does that so I can kind of go back to showing you the covers. I didn't really do a very good job of showing the covers last time. When I did my Mad 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 episode, this is Hot Shop, so I wanted you to feel like, hey, I am following up. I am trying to like close the loop or close the circuit. And so you can see these are all Sheerans, basically, the different Sheerans and um, on the cover. The shard monument, the physical shard. You can see sort of like the swirling, galaxy behind it. Let me actually take off my, I need to stop blurring the settings real quick. I don't want to blur now. I want it to be, there we go. Perfect. Okay. All right. So here it is. I just don't want you to have to struggle anymore to like see this clearly. The camera is not very good anymore these days. There you go. It's see how many pages we have. I wrote this, more or less for me, and I'm just sharing it with the world. This was not designed to be like some, I just want people to, this is a testimony. What I'm trying to do is bear my testimony to my lived experience with treatment-resistant schizophrenia as a military veteran and as somebody with complex PTSD. So that's the back of it. Let's see if it closely, it's kind of blurry. Sorry about that. And then you can see the rebirth cover again. So yeah, that it's about identity primarily. It's about who we are, what that means, and yeah, I hope you'll check it out. Check out the books. I also have another sci-fi horror novel out right now called The Abyss Gazes also, and I'll be getting into that one next week on my next Mad 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 episode. But yeah, today is all about, you know, glass stars, glass stars, glass stars, because I want you to see how sci-fi can really be a great narrative engine for change, cultural change. See if I can find the hot shop. All right, while I'm doing this, hot shop. See if it comes up in my searches. Hot shop. There it is. Yes, perfect. Okay. Love it. All right. Finally got my background back up. Yay, you can see it. Woo, hot shop with katkinghere, me. All right, so where are we at? Okay, we're just still trying to get the buttons to function. I like where it's going with this. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again so you can see where we're at. While we're waiting, I want to share with you some snippets from my music that I'm making for this. These aren't perfect, tracks by any stretch of the imagination, but they'll give you sort of a sense of like what we're going for. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it unless I can mute my mic. Let me see if I can find. So, see if it comes up in my library. You know what we'll do? We'll just put up search in real quick for it. Oh, okay. You know what? I don't want to waste my time with that part. Let's go ahead and share with you. Yeah, I just want to share with you what I have so far. Couple of different, sort of like the vibe, what we're going for.
Dawn of a new day, rise of a new way, dawn of a new way of life. Capture the moment
Okay, just a little bit of that, and then we'll play a little bit of Dream State.
carry me to a new dimension, captivated by attention.
And this is just music that is, sci-fi inspired. I may use it, I may not use it for Glass Stars. I'm not sure I do, but I did have a playlist I put together for Glass Stars Live. So I wanted to share that with you right now because I'm going to be inviting everybody who's coming to the after party um, to hear it. And you'll be able to hear it during the pre-show. It's like the pre-show music as well, this playlist. But yeah, so I just wanted to share this as well with you real quick. Um, some of the music here is right out of like my childhood and everything like that. So I wanted to share that there is a playlist for Glass Stars Live, and you'll be able to hear that. I curated it especially for this event. It could become the soundtrack for the pilot, even if I can get all the sync licensing and all the permissions in place. I've got some Pink Floyd, Peter Gabriel. I've got some Heart in there, Journey, Rush. I've got a little bit of modern stuff in there too, some more contemporary stuff as well. And I'm going to close this out real quick. Okay, let's see where we're at. Okay, back to our opening page. Here's like the landing page. I'm going to go with the chapel. That's perfect. Okay, good. I like that. You can also go back to it here. Okay, it's going to show me official registration. The spiral is the oculus. Okay. I just need to clarify because I want it to be accurate. I don't want people like, oh, that's not what you said, blah, blah, because eventually somebody is going to come along and be like, well, I'm a big fan. I think you said this and that. When the whole thing is about glass stars is to challenge perceptions of reality. And there could be some confusion. There's a lot of false memories and a lot of, a lot of delusions and things like that that people who without schizophrenia suffer from. So, I'm not alone in that, which is nice. But at the same time, like, it's not always great to think about the fact that more and more people are becoming more delusional because they're becoming obsessed with ChatGPT for everything, including their mental health. I mean, I'm not using it for that. I'm using it to just help me plan my stuff that I already wrote and created many years ago. And it's just helping me flesh things out, outline them, get started and provide a more comprehensive like snapshot of what this Glass Stars project is because it's multi-pronged. It has many different arms to it. But it starts with kind of giving people a visual, interactive, immersive sampling, a taste, un goût, petit goût of my what if a woman with schizophrenia made a metaverse and the whole world ended up having to like live in it. What could that possibly, what could possibly go wrong? But it's not dystopian inherently. It has a very aspirational and overall, it is what I consider to be post-cyberpunk. So while it begins in a dystopian place initially, it doesn't stay there, it doesn't end there, and it offers ultimately a hopeful, um, I guess, resolution in the ultimate end. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. If you're interested in that, especially if you're watching what's going on with Elon Musk and Neuralink and Grok and versus ChatGPT versus all the other AIs, AGI, the singularity, all this talk about when AI will surpass humanity and all of that, we are going there. And this series is really hitting it head on, just like Black Mirror does, but it does it in less of a scary way. It talks about the fallout and the consequences, like the socio-political consequences of everything. And then it's a very human story. Ultimately, it tells the story of all these people who have these motivations, none of which are inherently wrong, but it's all about what a person is willing to go through and what a person is willing to do in order to achieve their goals. That's all it ever comes back down to, right? I mean, look at everything that's happening around us. All right. Looking good so far. I'm hoping I'll get to be able to show you one last iteration before I have to pause again. I'm just sort of doing this in like, this is a long, long video because I wanted you to get a fuller sense of like my whole thought process behind this. So you'd know how it all came about, the tools I use to help me as somebody with schizophrenia to like propel myself forward, to get things done, to finish tasks, and to complete projects. Because how will people know whether or not they can trust that this project will actually come to completion and be released to the public? How will we be able to say, how will I be able to prove that I am capable of bringing a project that's this sophisticated and this complex to completion if I can't even show you something now that I finished, right? I started a lot of things, but I haven't finished a lot of things. And so I want to finish this and give this to you so that you can venture into the story and the universe of the characters and then come back and buy that ticket and come to the show, or buy that ticket for the live stream, which is just going to be us filming the show for you to watch at home essentially. But it will have the people who are watching at home are going to have a slightly different experience of the show because you're going to see some of those HUD overlays come up. They're going to be queued up throughout the show, and then you'll have the ability to sort of scan some QR codes. The audience will also have QR codes to scan, but your QR codes may be special to your live stream experience or maybe specific, I should say specific to your live streaming experience. So yeah, I am really excited to bring this Glass Stars Live event to life. I hope that you will join us. If you want to know more, you can go to glass-stars-live.eventbrite.com. And in the meantime, yeah, check out the YouTube uh, shorts that I've got up that offer simulated POV style experiences of my illness. I am limited to 50 sticker overlays or text overlays on these shorts. So I'm sticking to that because I'm a person who just believes in like sort of like showing as it is. I'm not doing too much editing. I'm not doing too much. There's just not a lot more than just me filming myself and my experiences and then adding on the voice overlays using the little voice like add voice features. And there's like 4 or 5 different voices you can choose from. Well, I have more than 5 voices following me everywhere I go. Plus, I have fully formed visual hallucinations, and I haven't managed to create a true to life visual hallucination video yet, but I'm working on it. I got a lot of pots on the stove, so I can't overwhelm myself too much, but I am doing the best I can to kind of bring my experience to you. And that's sort of an immersive augmented reality basis, right? That's everything I'm doing comes with sort of an XR AR component. So I hope that um, you'll find it helpful. And if you can relate at all, I mean, I welcome your comments, your feedback. If it's something that you haven't any familiarity with, if you've never met anybody with schizophrenia, then these videos, these shorts, especially the playlist that the schizophrenia experiences and like simulations playlist, that is like the list of all these videos that kind of just me living with voices, and you'll have a sense of what I deal with, and hopefully that will build a sense of empathy and compassion. You'll share that with your friends and family because other people need to know that people like me exist. And just because we exist and we hear all these terrible things and see all these terrible things doesn't A, make us bad people, and two, doesn't make us dangerous to you or to your children. Not inherently anyway. But yeah, there are folks like me out there, and if I could inspire anybody to do what I'm doing, which is write stories, write fiction from your lived experience, because you matter and your story matters. That's kind of what I'm aiming to do here. So I'll spend the last 5 minutes kind of just playing around still here with our thing. You can see that you have two choices. You can either go through Neil's Chapel or you can go through Elliott Bay. Let's say we're going to go through Neil's Chapel. We want to know a little bit more about Neil, see where we're at with it. Did it actually make the changes I asked for? Yes, it is making the changes. So now you can see former transhumanist cyborg turned new apostolic reformation minister, Naomi's former best friend. I like this. We have Naomi, meeting Naomi. So far, so good. We have Naomi's attitude kind of coming through really nicely here. So Neil sent you. He may have given up his enhancements, but he still knows who to trust. And I click to continue. It's telling you a little bit more about the politics of Subterra and the spiral. Sarah's the restricted areas you're not allowed to go to. This little box popping up here is actually a message from Sheeran, who has detected your presence already and is already directing you to report for official proper registration. You see you have an allotment of fusion energy credits here. You have 216 of them. It's also warning you about something called FRIT, which is an illegal fusion energy counterfeit. Um, it's warning you to report sappers, anybody who might be using FRIT or dealing it, or yeah, trying to get you to do that. It talks a little bit about the background. What is FRIT? How it was introduced by United Against Transhumanism. And yeah, it talks a little bit about how lethal it is and how people are dying from it and how it's actually contributing to the rampant psychosis within the spiral. Really crazy stuff. I like it. So far, so good. Let's proceed. Here you are at Elliott Bay's official Subterra entrance, primary access point to the Oculus. Sharon greets you, and then you are off and away. You've gotten some guidance here about official registration and how it kind of works. You have an implant that you'll receive, as well as tattoos that you need to receive from Jax later on. You need to continue on to scan your said implant, SAID. I love this. It's getting really good now. I love the where we're going with this. We're starting to really feel and look the way I want it to. Feels futuristic, feels like a real live interactive experience. It's telling me right now that my implant's been registered with our central system. Now I have visual visitor status and can access all public areas of the Oculus. So now I just need to enter the Oculus. So now I'm going to go back to retitle it Scene 4 because we sort of have a prologue landing portal page first. So this is actually Scene 4. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm almost done. I'm running out of time here on this part. So let me stop sharing so I can kind of wrap up part 2 of my this is like again one of the longest videos I'm going to do about glass stars because the hot shop is really about the behind the scenes, the making of it, right? The fires of, creation and the creative process are heating up here and we're really getting into it. So thank you for joining me for this segment. If you missed part 1, you want to definitely hit that related video where it shows you part 1, and I'll pick up with the third part and that'll be the final part. So we've got 3 parts on the Glass Stars Homecoming portal web experience that's coming very soon to you. And I'll be announcing it very soon as it's ready to go. Thanks, everybody. I'll be right back with part 3.